Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I was dragged off the golf course for this feckin' do here tonight by the Amnesty crowd. And the first question I want to know is, what's it all about, Chief? Because I'm a businessman and bottom line is the most important thing to me. So they said the issues here are torture, imprisonment, and capital punishment. And so it is with great pleasure I'm here tonight because there's nothing dearer and closer to my heart than torture, imprisonment, and capital punishment. And we need a lot more of it. Now, this is my wife, you know, she's a terrible woman anyhow. She says to me that listening to me is torture. Oh, yeah, they can say what they like nowadays because they have the old equality, you know what I mean? That's a good thing, don't get me wrong. I think women should have a certain amount of equality, you know. About 30% thereabouts. But my secretary, Deirdre, she's a gas ticket, and she's always going on about, you know, the pains only a woman can experience, you know, period pains and all that. And I said to her, come here to me, love. I said, you know, love, I said, because it wasn't the sexual harassment week. So I said to her, I said to her, listen, if you want to know what real pain is, it's the unique pain only a man can experience, a kick in the bollocks. And she says to me, quick as a flash, she says, and you get a kick in the bollocks every month. Do you know what I mean? But they'll answer you back, the women. Nowadays, geez, I was going to fire her, but then I realised she'd probably get me under unfair dismissals because she was obviously, you know, PMT, you know, that's... Oh, she'd go mad, or, you know, when they're like that, women usually throw things out the window and set fire to the office and everything like that, you know. That all started with your mum and, you know, Emily, what's her name, threw herself under a horse at Epsom. Now, that was PMT, obviously. Mad feckin' thing to do, throw yourself under a horse. And completely irresponsible. Those horses cost a fortune. And you know, the reason she probably did that was to avoid period pains. Simple as that. Now, Queen Victoria, I have to read this somewhere, she took cannabis to avoid period pains. This is absolutely true. It's a historical fact. And I know a bit about the old cannabis. My eldest lad actually gave me a joint the other day. Now, when I say joint, I am not talking about a leg of lamb here. Are we with me, right? But anyway, the eldest lad, he came home anyhow, and he brought a young lassie with him, you know. And it's gas to see your own kid bringing a girlfriend home, you know. And she's a beautiful thing now, blonde hair, little bum, and, you know, the bra and everything, you know. I noticed things like that, you know, there was a mashing lass. And so I stood there staring for a while, and he said, Dad, you know, and so I went anyhow after a while. You know, I thought, young people, leave them alone. So I couldn't stop thinking about him downstairs, the young lassie, you know. So I went upstairs anyhow, and I had a wank. So I tried the joint anyhow, and the first one didn't go down very terrible heartburn. And apparently you're supposed to smoke the feckin' thing. So I just one bite and down it went, you know. So I tried a second joint. I smoked this one, did nothing for me whatsoever. So I said, I'm feck this, I'm going out for a bite to eat in the kitchen. So I went in and I had 3 or 4 bowls of Cocoa Pops, and I found a cold rasher, and there was a mustard sandwich and some chocolate digestives, which I put a lovely duck pate on. It was very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, torture, imprisonment, capital punishment. Here's to it.
I was born in Tyrone, 1956, for something I didn't do. I was innocent, but they gave me life. I can still remember the midwife who extradited me. She dragged me out of the womb and she said, there you go, Mrs. McAleer, you've got a wee comedian. I was laughing my head off. But my mother, she was present at the birth. Oh, she insisted on it. Wild horses wouldn't drag her away. Although they did offer her that option as well. But no, I developed my sense of humour very early on. I was only 3 when I set fire to the cat. My mother said it wasn't funny, but I knew it would get a laugh one day. Been a long time coming, but it was worth the wait.
And it's brilliant because my mum rings me, right? It's brilliant when your mum rings you at my age because it's like she treats you like a kid again and it's somebody who loves you unreservedly no matter what. And my mum's on the phone going, Kevin, has it gone cold in England? Have you enough blankets on your bed? Are you sure? I'm going, I'm sure, Mum. Shut up, will you? Shut up. Kevin, are you getting enough sleep? Have you enough beds? Are you sure? I'm going, I'm sure, Mum. Shut up. Yeah, leave me alone. I'm an adult. Shh. Kevin, have you enough teapots, ostrich feathers, murals, ceilings, walls, halls, video channels? I'm going, I'm sure, Mum. Sure. I get off the phone with a lovely, warm, loved feeling inside. Go into the centre of London where I live. Nobody gives a shit whether I live or die. Except the people who live in the streets. They always come and say, have you enough money for a cup of tea? Are you sure? It's not lovely.
So, 5 pubs go into a bloke, and it hurt. But now, I was walking down. It's funny. A funny thing happened on the way to the theatre. Somebody said hello, and you know, because people are very unfriendly. And people don't actually. I'm going to finish the sentence. I can feel it. But people don't actually. People don't talk to you much nowadays, do they? You know, when people say hello, that's apparently your parents always say, oh, you know, things used to happen. People used to say hello, and you could leave your door open, and you know, sometimes your windows, and not even have a house, and you wouldn't get robbed. But because you didn't have anything anyway, and you didn't exist. But nowadays, it's all this security, and you have to wear a moustache to get anything done. And like, what are we going to tell our kids, you know? You should have been around when we were alive. It was fantastic. AIDS, war, it was brilliant. You should have been there. It was... What do you have now? Nothing, except you don't even have a head. You have to make it yourself every morning. And I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I am right. Now...
None of your people getting married, they're having kids as well. Don't have kids. It's your parents' revenge on you. Your parents don't care what you're doing, if you're single, attached, whatever, as long as you have kids. Case in point. My brother has a kid. 2 months ago, he gave an emergency call to my mother. He hadn't slept in 2 days. He was at his wit's end. My mother gave a call to me and said, it's Connor and Jean, they're in trouble. Come out and help. Went out to the house, he opened the door. I've never seen my brother look like this. I've seen him with a hangover. I've seen him with his head in the toilet. I've never seen this. He opened the door. His face was that pale ashen green colour, and he was going, ha, ha, ha. Well, we don't know what it is. Every time we pick her up, she just starts crying, and she won't go to sleep. She sleeps for 10 minutes, and we feed her and we change. We don't know what to do. And my mother's there going, oh, yeah, that's terrible. Oh, yeah. But there's a little glint in her eye. I know that on the inside she's going, I have waited 30 years for this day. Now you will suffer as you have made me suffer. Oh, that's terrible, Connor. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I got to come home for Christmas, which was nice because I got to see me folks again. It's nice coming home and see me folks because I've got a typical relationship with my mother in that really fancier. Oh, yeah, I want to sleep with ma or something first. No, I don't really, obviously. When you're messing, when you're joking. I can tell it by the fact that a handful of you laughed and the rest of you shifted uncomfortably in your seats. Then none of you feel that way about your parents either, because it's a horrible, sick, twisted notion. It's a ridiculous idea, which is why I can't understand how Sigmund Freud got away with the shite he did. Honestly. For those of you not up on Freudian theory, right? Sigmund Freud, the inventor of psychotherapy, the godfather of modern psychology, reckons we all fancied our mothers when we were younger. I say we all did. Obviously just blokes. Women didn't. That'd be weird. No. No, according to him, we honestly, the women all fancied their dads and men all fancied their mothers when they were young. Now, I don't know about you, but my ma's a fucking boiler. Honestly. I mean, she's a lovely woman, don't get me wrong, but a weapon. Honestly. I think Freud was just a weirdo, decided we all were as well. No, I do have a typical relationship with my mother, though, in that she's an Irish mother, and I suppose that comes with the package where we live, doesn't it? Yeah. And being an Irish mother, though, I think I've noticed about her, and I lived with her for quite a while, so I think I know her fairly well. No, I think I've noticed about her, she's got this funny thing that Irish mothers have of just use stock phrases all the time. You know, little knee-jerk reaction phrases from a little phrase book in her head. Like, if I'm out on the street with my ma, any time during the month of December, and an ambulance goes by, she just has to go, oh, that's somebody's Christmas ruined. She can't help herself. And then I start turning into me dad. I start going, oh, well, I'm sure the ambulance driver is glad of the overtime. This time of year, oh no. But in the great knack that my mother does have, I think that mothers in general have, a great skill they've got, is they've got this great skill of being able to put things to you that you really feel you have to do whatever it is you're being told to do. But it still sounds really nice. And that's a great skill. It makes it all the more effective in order. And I think road signs should be like that. I think road signs are far too formal. They'd be much better if my ma would just redesign them all in her own inimitable way. Like, instead of a stop sign, you'd have a sign that says, now. Hey, brilliant. It's all, isn't it? Instead of a give right of way sign, you'd have a sign that says, let the man go first. Instead of a no parking sign, you'd have a sign that says, come on now, off you pop. Come on, you're in the way. Come on. Not just road signs either, any old signs, like no smoking signs. They're very ineffective. Picture of a fag with a line through it. Nobody takes any notice of them. If you had a picture of my ma with a pack of fags in her hand and a stern look on her face and a caption underneath that just read, I dunno. Nobody'd smoke in that room. But I think one thing that Freud was right about, though, about your parents is that they do have a great effect on you. You know, they can say things to you that, to them, it's just an offhand remark, but at certain ages when you're growing up, can have a great effect on your psyche. Like, I remember when I was really young, I used to love chicken. I used to eat chicken all the time. Chicken, 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 lovely. And my mum would say to me, oh, one of these days you're going to turn into a chicken. I'd be going to bed at night, I'd be checking for feathers, honestly. At least that's what I told her I was doing when she walked in on me.
Thing. It's next year's entry into the Irish Olympics. Ladies and gentlemen, the Irish splits. Jesus. Are you going all the way?
It is great to be here. I love being Irish. It's great because we have so many of these fantastic little shows like this, big shows that we do so well. One of them is coming up soon. It's the Irma Awards, which you may know about. Irma are our Irish version of the Grammys, and they're on every year, and they're on around this time, celebrating the year that's gone past. And I always presumed Irma was Irish Record Music Award or something like that. But I found out actually recently, I was talking to a man who knows, apparently Irma is an old Latin verb meaning cannot be with us tonight. And actually, I just conjugate that verb. It's Madonna Irma, Michael Jackson Irmo, Spice Girls Irmontanaro, any international star of any repute, Irma na 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 na. The other great thing we do, of course, is once a year we have that fantastic little thing, the Rose of Tralee, which is on once a year, obviously enough. And I know a lot of my friends are really cynical and they always go, no, I wouldn't watch it. Rose of Tralee, I'd sooner eat my leg than watch the Rose of Tralee. I would sooner iron my sack than watch the Rose of Tralee. Thank you very much.
it gets you just there, that one. But I think it's ridiculous to be so negative about it because it is an opportunity to laugh at Americans, and those kind of things shouldn't be overlooked when they appear. The one thing the Rose Tree is very, very good for is the little performance part that they do, and it's always really, really cute. Except, of course, I don't know, is anyone here from Limerick? No, great, deadly. Can go on with all this, aren't I? It's just Limerick from here on in. Limerick, you'll find actually, the Rose Tree, the Limerick Rose, is obliged by law to sing Limerick, You're My Lady every year as their part. What are you going to do? I can guess. Yes, Limerick, You're My Lady. And they come out every year and they go, the beauty that surrounds you, which is obviously a reference to Clare and Kerry and other counties. And that's bad, that's bad to sit through that, every year the Limerick Rose. But we only see the national final. I can't imagine what it's like at the Limerick regional final. Just 2 to 3 hours of that shit going on.
So you reckon 97's going to be a good year then for Ireland? Do you reckon we're going to finally lose the poxy Eurovision Song Contest? We reckon that would be good, wouldn't it? Do you realise we've won that 7 times now, folks? 7 times. That's more times than any other country stupid enough to enter the feckin' thing. When are we going to realise that the Eurovision Song Contest is in fact just a cruel joke the whole of Europe is playing on Ireland? Honestly, the whole of Europe's going, we're not hosting that box of shit. Give it to Ireland again. I'm going, they'll take it. Well done, you won again. Because you can tell it's a shit thing to win. Simply by the fact that we've won it 7 times and nobody's ever complained. You never hear anybody go, oh, Ireland's getting a bit greedy with the old Eurovision there. Nobody gives a shite. I mean, if you cast your minds back to the World Cup, right? Look at something like that. 1994, when we qualified for the World Cup and England didn't, right? No big deal. We didn't even win that. We were just there. We were asked to go, so we went. And they didn't. But I live in London. Honestly, even to this day, if I mention the World Cup, it's the same remark. It's like a rehearsed answer. It's this thing of, oh yeah, you might have qualified, yeah, but, half your fucking team was English, weren't they? Yeah, where was your manager from? I. Don't think he was Irish, mate. No. If you find he was from England. And it's a fair point, and well made, but you never get anybody crowing like that about the Eurovision Song Contest, do you? You never hear anybody say, oh, yeah, well, you might have won the Eurovision 7 times, but whose language did you use, eh?
Ed Byrne was on earlier talking about the Eurovision and our record in it. And I'm just wondering, are there any sort of Central Europeans here? Like Dutch people, Norwegians, anyone who's never won the Eurovision? Because I'll just tell you why, right? I won't offend or slag you in any way. I'll just tell you why you never win the Eurovision. It's because all your songs are exactly the same, right? They're all sung in the same Eurovision language. They're all called a but, right? And they all go like this. So the song that never wins the Eurovision. Could we have some fancy Eurovision lighting, please? That's fantastic. Right. Oh, God, it is too. So, the song that never wins the Eurovision. Chantou, fragile santé, resto bi, irebe kasove, resto van, irebe kastopu, sharve kasati, irebe kastopi. But, gajula du jada. I think you got the idea.
There was no trouble in the north before the Troubles. It was the Troubles that caused the whole trouble. But there's no need to dig up history. We have to look to the future. We all know how the Protestants arrived in the 17th century in their spaceship and they overshot the runway at Aldergrove Airport and landed in a lock. They dragged themselves out of the lock and they consulted Ulster about what to call this lock, and Ulster said nay. I think Unionists would really enjoy studying Irish history. You know, if they liked the hunger strikes, they'd love the famine.
thing, if you are British and you're living here, you will eventually get the 800 years of oppression gig. Now, it can be anywhere between 200 and 800 years, depending on who you're talking to. And when I first came over, I'd get this all the time. You oppressed us for 800 years? And I was so liberal, I'd go, sorry. And then it just started getting on me nerves. And there was one bloke who used to do this to me all the time. You've oppressed us for 800 years, until finally I snapped. I said, look, mate, I am not personally responsible for your oppression. You thick Irish potato-eating bog trotter. And he cancelled the wedding.
We had a ceasefire in the north of Ireland for 17 months, which was fantastic, because I live in London and that's where all the fucking bombs are going off. And it was great, you know, because you could get on the tube during the ceasefire and you could sit there and you didn't have to worry about the lone suitcase. You know, you could just sit there watching the old suitcase and thinking, sure, it's just an old suitcase there. Sure, you know, somebody's just left it. Sure, it doesn't matter. And you think to yourself, I might even have it if nobody, you know. I might take it with me, like, when I get off. But not anymore. Now you're sitting on the tube in London and you see the suitcase and you think, oh, look. Nobody's touched that suitcase for 17 stops. Jesus Christ. And you know, English people, they don't like to complain. They would never go and tell anybody. They don't want to make a fuss. They'd rather get blown up. But what if I was wrong? Wouldn't it be awful? And there's a sign which says, if you see an unattended package, please go and tell somebody. Not if you've got a Northern Irish accent. It took me ages catching up with the guard as well. Excuse me, I got a brown bag. Fuck off, you bastards! I got a brown bag here. Fuck off! It's only trying to help. Then you've got the orange men. 300,000 Laurel and Hardys. And they love a march, don't they? They love a march. It's their culture, apparently, to march everywhere. And they're marching. How do they know? Northern Ireland is the only place in the world with a marching season. 4 months of marching. I mean, what's that all about? How do they know when it's a marching season? They're just, you know, sitting at the breakfast table and the legs start to go, oh, fucking hell! Stand back, I'm coming here! Turn around, come on, marching. Ridiculous, you know. And every year we get this standoff at Drumcree, you know, the one that marched down this particular street. And the RUC are there and they're going, no, you can't march down here. And they're going, where you want to march down? That street there. Oh, come on, there's 2,000. No, that one. With all the Catholics, that's the one there. And then the Catholics down that particular street, they get all upset. And they shouldn't. They shouldn't get upset. What they should do to really piss them off is to join in. And not only that, get a big West Indian steel band. And just drop in behind them going, yeah, we love this on shit, baby, let's go.
This was late 60s. I would go off for walks in the middle of the night, you know, and 2 o'clock in the morning, everybody in bed, I would sneak out the door, and I went down this narrow country road one night, and starry night, you know, very atmospheric, you know, frosty, clear sky. And I ended up leaning against this gate in the middle of the night on my own countryside, looking up at the stars, and it was really quiet. You could hear the pin drop. A bit like this, actually. And I got philosophical, and I started asking myself these deep questions like, who am I? Why am I here? And then this British Army patrol came round the corner. And this young, fresh-faced soldier jumped out of the truck, about the same age as myself, and he came over to the gate and he said to me, "Who are you?" "What are you doing here?" And immediately I felt less alone. That there was some other young soul out there just grappling with the exact same questions that I was grappling with. And then another half a dozen young lads jumped out of the truck, and it was wonderful. Suddenly found myself surrounded by my peers, and they were really interested in me. That's what was the whole new thing for me. They wanted to know my name, my address, my father's name, my mother's name, my friends' names, date of birth, what I did on the long winter's evenings to pass the time. It was fantastic. And they were very, very worried about my lack of identity. I said I didn't know who I was, and God, they were so put out about that they invited me back to their place. And I was going, "Oh, no, I couldn't. No, really, no. Come on," they said, "come on, get in the truck, for God's sake." God, I was embarrassed. They talk about the Irish being friendly, but... No, I said, come on, they said. God, they wouldn't hear I've taken no for an answer. They practically dragged me into the truck. And we got back to their place. Oh, it was fantastic. Oh, we were up all night talking.
There was no hecklers in the first half, was there? First time I've ever been at a comedy show and no one's heckled. But I will warn you, don't heckle me, because I'm fucking brilliant. I am. Just get, see, this man down the front here, just give me a typical heckle, any kind of, hey, gruff, something gruff. What'd you say? Get off the stage. Right, will you stand out, shout it really, rough, pretend you're English. No, just pretend you're someone else. So just stand up and give us your heckle. I will warn you, though, that I have a list of all heckles, right, that audiences say and what to say back to them. So yours is what? Get off the stage. Hold on. Tell us a joke. Where'd you get the jacket? Call that a hairdo. You're shit. Get off the stage. Got it. All right. Shout it again. Get off the stage. Watch it. Okay? That's the one for that one. I'll have none of your muck. I'm like microwaved food, me. Very warm on the outside. Fucking freezing inside. For example, last night I found out that when fully extended, a rabbit's mouth is exactly the same width as a firelighter. You don't want to fuck with me. Right, what we do at the top of the second half, right, just to get everyone warmed up and sat down and making a noise, a little bit of audience participation. Sorry, you know the thing. So how many tiers have we? We've 3 tiers. Right, so we get all the people on the bottom tier, okay? If I point this way, everyone downstairs, if I point this way, will you all please go, ah, like that. Try that. 1, 2, 3. Ah. Hang on. All the people in the middle tier, if I point this way, will you all please go, shh, and be loud, because there's less of you, because your seats are cheaper. So on 3, 1, 2, 3. Shh. Bang on. And if I point up in the air, all the people up in the top who can't see me at all anyway, right? But hopefully word will spread. But if I point up in the air, will you all please go honk, honk, and don't feel self-conscious because you've got the stupid one, right? So try that on 3, 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. We're pissed. We'll do anything. But what I'd like to do before we commence is do the biggest impression ever done in this building ever, right? That's going to be a big one, isn't it? So the impression is going to be of 200 injured geese falling through a hole in the roof of a chip shop. Are we ready? Into the deep fat fryer there. Oh, really crispy and tasty. I was standing at a bus stop the other day when most funny things happen, and standing at the bus stop, this old man standing beside me suddenly turned to me and said, "It's taking a bit longer than usual today, the old bus." It's taking a little bit longer than usual. Now, we didn't say another word till the bus arrived, but we were all shitting it. Everyone in the queue, really scared. And you have to be careful, because there's a tremendous amount of loonies, really, in the world. It's the only way to describe them, loonies. Even in Ireland, the country where people still wave at trains. There's loonies out there. But there's ways of identifying the loony. You can spot the loony so you can move away. For example, if you're sitting on a train, right, and you're sitting opposite somebody you don't know, and they're looking out the window of the train, and their eyes aren't doing this. Loony.
Yeah. Where's the bus? Where's the bloody bus? Where is it? They're gone very big, the buses nowadays, aren't they? Aren't they? 44B. That's big, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Yeah. You from Canada, are you? My daughter lives in Canada. Yeah. Canada dry. Ireland dry. We couldn't say that, could we? No. Bloody joke. It's always pissing here, isn't it? Yeah. Desperate. Desperate. Oh, yeah. She bought me a coat back from Canada. She did, yeah. Leather. Flesh-coloured, yeah. With shoes and a handbag to match. Yeah. I look like a pig in it. Yeah. A pig with pockets in his skin, yeah. I was standing here at the bus stop and a man started scratching my back with a stick. Yeah. Desperate, yeah. Hairnets are going very expensive nowadays, aren't they? 44p. Used to be only 24. Yeah. I just used the little bag that the onions come in, you know. Oh, it's marvellous. Yeah. And then you can use it for the shopping as well, you know. Just for something small, just for one item, like an onion. Yeah. Ian Paisley has a lovely speaking voice, doesn't he? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, he's completely bonkers, isn't he? Oh, he's off his rocker. Yeah, he's good looking, though. Yeah. Could have been an actor. Yeah, if he wanted to. And Mother Teresa, what do you think of her? God, she looks as if she'd eat you, doesn't she? Oh, she terrifies me. Yeah, she terrifies me. Yeah.
Another way of spotting a loony, for example, if there's a very heavy snowfall and you go to the windscreen of a car to get that really compact, dangerous snow, you know, and you're scraping it off the windscreen of the car, inside there's a man with his face pressed against the glass. And he's going, "Fuck off. That's my snow." He's a loony as well.
Do you know when you're walking in the street and you're just walking down the street and you're looking towards you and you see this person coming towards you and you're thinking, I know them, but I don't know them that well. And you start walking and you're thinking, what am I going to do when they pass me by? And you just go mad, it's a nightmare. You start walking towards them, you start going, what am I going to do? And you walk like this as if you're doing a Christmas shopping, like that, to get all the casual people out of the way, and you go, I'm a bloody loony, no one's going to go near me. And you just keep looking and they're coming towards you going, what am I going to do when they pass me by? I know what I'll do, I'll give them a wink, yeah, I'll acknowledge them a little bit, I'll give them a wink, that's what I'll do, yeah. No, wait a minute, I'll give them a wave, give them a bit of a wave, that's what I'll do, yeah. No, I'll give them a wink and a wave, yeah. No, wait a minute, I'll give them a wink and a wave. No, wait a minute, I'll stop and say hello. No, wait a minute, I don't know them well enough. I'll give them a wink, a wave, stop and say hello, see how they're doing. No, I don't even know how they're doing. I'll give them a wink, a wave, see what happens when they pass you by. You just go, how are you doing? I'm sorry, I live in a zoo. I hate hairdressers.
If you go to the cinema, and you try and watch the film, but you can't see the whole screen because this guy's head's in the way, right? And he's facing you. Seriously, I'm telling you. He'll have horns and a tail and everything.
So this is a poem, and it's called You'll Never Get Another Job Like That. What kept you? Some little fucker was always saying to me as I grew. What kept you? And I knew it was sarcasm that deserved at best a shrug. Even then, I was no mug. And then, when I had grown, some other silly bastard was always looking at his watch and saying, "What time do you call this? What time do you call this?" And I knew it was sarcasm that deserved at best a shrug. So I'd say, "Stick your fucking poxy shit bollocks of a job up your arse, you wee bandy-legged, bowler-hatted fuckwit!" I'm self-employed now.
This is an impression of an Irish taxi driver on holidays abroad. Actually, do a thing. While there's so many people here, we could change. We can change the way things are. We can change bad things. You know the way you probably leave here this evening? It might be raining. If you didn't drive, you'd be going, "Oh, get a taxi. It's raining." So you'd be outside, you put your hand up and you go, "Oh, here's a taxi coming now. The light's on." So you put your hand up and the taxi drives past and there's 4 people inside it doing this. That's probably going to happen. So just accept it and you'll be there going, "Oh, dash it. Dash you, Mr. Taxi Man. Oh, feck you. You're an iceberg of a fiend." Now, you may do that, but the best thing to do is tomorrow afternoon, right, O'Connell Street, get into O'Connell Street about 4 in the afternoon, taxi driver's not up to much, you stand there, you just do this. Taxi coming, taxi driver will come along, he'll stop because he's not busy. And you'll be there like this, and you just stay there. And he'll slide over the gear stick, he'll roll down the window and he'll say, "Listen, do you want the taxi or not?" And you just say, "Ah, sorry, I forgot I left it up." Fuck you.
I remember going along to the career guidance nun, sister direction in life, and she said to me, "Nuala, if you want to sing, become a nun and sing for Jesus, because God is everywhere." And sure, isn't that the biggest audience you could ever hope to play to? But that same nun, she didn't stick to her own word, because I heard later that she left the nunhood. She got a sex change and a blazoon jacket, and she became Daniel O'Donnell.
Well, I have to say, she's not half bad looking for a transsexual nun.
Not at all, no.
Absolutely. Well, we'd like to crack on now with the next number of the evening. And speaking of nuns, with this next one, we'd like to take you all for a ride.
Bridget the nun on her little bike. Bridget the nun, she's as quick as you like. Bridget the nun, she was never slow. Go, Bridget, go, Bridget, go, go, go. Bridget was the quickest nun in Ballinasloe. She'd deliver 50 meals on wheels all in one go. Speeding through the parish like a bat out of hell. They'd all be waving and she'd answer with her bicycle bell. But she'd been pedalling much too hard. Her little legs were getting tired. Bridget the nun on her little bike. Bridget the nun's not as quick as she'd like. Bridget the nun, she was getting slow. Oh, Bridget, oh, Bridget, oh, oh, oh. Bridget was deflated like a tire that's been skewered, so the people bought a ticket and they sent her to Lourdes. She bathed in the waters and was physically healed, but inside she was yearning for her spokes and her wheels. Then a shiny lady in cycling gear made a holy bicycle appear. Then she was Bridget the nun in the Tour de France. Bridget the nun, is she in with the chance? Bridget the nun, she was never slow. Go, Bridget, go, Bridget, go, go, go. The cycling commentators, they didn't rate her, but Bridget was driven by a power that was greater, dragging Ireland's hope up the Alpine slope. With God as her pump, she knew she would cope. Soon the Arc de Triomphe was in sight. Then Paris saw her bike take flight. Oh, she was Bridget the nun Bridget the nun on her bike of love. Bridget the nun, only God will choose whether or not you will win or lose. Go, Bridget, don't be slow, Bridget, go, Bridget, don't be slow, Bridget, go, Bridget, don't be slow, Bridget, go, Bridget, go, Bridget, go, Bridget, go. Ole, 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 ole.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Craggy Island Parochial House, the 2nd of the 2nd, 1997. Dear Evening Herald, as a young housekeeper living in isolated circumstances near the west coast of Ireland, I am always on the lookout for a good read. Nothing pleases me more when I go to bed at night than getting under the sheets with a big, hard book. On the recommendation of your so-called fiction reviewer, Tom DeValley, I bought a copy of Bejeweled with Kisses by the Irish woman novelist Polly Clark. You can imagine my disgust when I opened the book and was slapped in the face by a farrago of sexual swear words that have no place in family literature. On page 1. That's right, page 1. There is a very long description of unusual kissing. Normal kissing isn't good enough for him. No. He wants to go somewhere else. Down to a dark and desolate place where no normal man would even think of going. Yet, our hero spends what seems to be a short holiday down there. And my God, the language, unbelievable. Feck this and feck this. Give it to me, pony boy. Slap my arse cheeks until they look like 2 babies crying. Oh, don't think it gives me any pleasure to have to quote this type of language. I am practically shaking as I write things like, she took his lad in her hand and manipulated it until it was the size of a young child's arm. I have highlighted in yellow magic marker other phrases that I A, find offensive, and B, cannot understand. Golden showers, anal tourist, spunky monkey man, champion forklifter, sponge pilot, bottom mechanic, Dairy Lee cock sandwich, jism cackface, beardy digestive. I mean, what the hell is a beardy digestive? Archaeologist, flesh dentist, cornflake facial, fanny ha-ha. Oh, the list is endless. If I didn't have anything better to do, I could be here all night just listing these filthy terms. Here's more. Milky makeover, corn on the knob, landing flaps, and diggory dog cockball, soupy shag bucket, anus toggle, vibro boy, spaniel squirt. Well, I'm exhausted now. I'll be buying all of Mrs. Clark's other books to see if they're equally filthy. Yours sincerely, Mrs. Doyle.
So I reckon this would be the Last Supper if Jesus could have been as hard as he wanted to be. So this is the Last Supper. And I'm Jesus because I'm in charge, basically. So this is the Last Supper. Yo, Matthew, you're fucking beautiful. I want you, Luke, John, the other guy, what the fuck's his name? I want you to get together, write a book about me. It'll be a good fucking book, Matthew. Peter, I'm leaving you in charge. That's right, I want you to take care of these guys. These are my fucking guys. Don't have me to come back to you now. I want to tell each and every one of you guys here, I'm fucking proud of you. And there is a place at my father's fucking table for each and every one of you guys. Each and every one of you guys, except one. Put the cannelloni down, Judas. You piece of fucking shit. That's right, I fucking know what you did. Why didn't you just stab me in the heart, you fuck? Did you think you could get away with it? Did you think you could get away with it? Now I know everyone at this table has done some bad fucking things. God knows we ain't no saints. But you fuck, you're going down. You, your mother, your father, your sister, the horse that rode your mother into town, all going down. What did you say to me? What did you say? You're going to God? You're going over my head directly to God? I fucking love this guy. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you one fucking question, Judas. Who is the man? Don't look at me like you don't know what I'm fucking talking about, Judas. Who is the man? Don't fucking help him, Peter. Peter, sit down. Peter, I love you like a brother, but don't ever take sides against the family again. You got me? Judas. Fuckface. Who is the man? I am the man. You cannot get to God unless you go through me. Are you taking this down, Matthew? This is good fucking shit. Judas, do you know how many people will be named after you in the years to come? Do you know? No one. No one. You and Zebedee. Zebedee, one guy with a spring up his ass. That's all you're going to get.
I don't want to take too much of your time. I just want to talk a little bit about romance. The romance that's missing from life. I'm 20 years married this year to Doreen, and we still hold hands, which I think is nice, because if we let go, we'd fucking kill each other. And I want to talk about the romance, not sex, because sex is not romantic. Sex, I mean, we all know sex is... we like sex, but we wouldn't want to see a video of ourselves next morning. Fuck off, that's not me. Fuck off. Lick under her arm, no way. No, I can't watch. A lot of my friends have mirrors over the bed. I wouldn't be into that. I mean, you know. For fucking what? So you can get a creak in the neck watching your own arse go up and down. Not for me. I want to talk about love. About love. Love takes many forms, and married men know the love scene. I'm not talking about the sex bit, I'm talking about the foreplay, or as I like to call it, the 4-hour play. For married men, it starts in the restaurant when you take your wife to dinner. You know by the way she's eating. There's a little man in your head going, I'm going to get me oil, going next. It's a lovely feeling. Love is when you get to talk to the girl. Love is when you talk to the girl and you say things to her like, the moon shines in your hair. Your eyes sparkle like the stars on a winter's night. You don't sweat much for a fat girl. Classics. So I wrote this country song. We need hats.
Hats, Dermot. Thank you, darling.
I know there's people out there saying he looks like Garrett Brooks. There's others out there saying he looks like a fucking thumbtack. Either way, do I give a fuck?
Yeah, that's fucking great.
This is a lovely romantic song. It's called How Can I Say I Love You? I hope you like it. It's a little bit of romance. I hope it adds a little bit to your life. It goes like this. I love you. This may sound absurd. You never heard me whisper those special little words. I really like to date you, and the sex with you is great. But each time I try to look in your eye, it's always much too late. How can I say I love you when you're sitting on my face? How can I say this love is not a farce? Guess what? Each time I try to tell you, it comes out when the words just seem to vanish up your hearts. Light up your eyes.
That leads me nicely on to sex. I think sex is funny, I hope, because it doesn't matter how many relationships you've been in, right? It's always the first one you remember, because that's the special one. And I always remember the first girl I was ever with, you know. I was really shy, young, embarrassed, and I said, listen, is it okay if we turn off the lights? And she said, all right. And we crashed into an oncoming car. I always love a cigarette after tell a gag about sex. It's lovely. What's my girlfriend's favourite position in bed? Ooh, cheeky. Well, she likes me on top, and I sleep on the bottom bunk. Because things aren't going well at the moment. And you know they're not going well when the girl starts faking her orgasm. You know this. Are you embarrassed, yeah? You know this because you're in the bedroom making love, right? And she'll shout something like, yippee! From the kitchen. It's not an orgasm. And I think it's funny, you know, you go through all your relationships, and eventually everybody meets that special person who says the magic words to you. I'm seeing somebody else. And it cuts you in two the first time because you never expect her. And you look back, I always remember, you look back in whole history and go, she was with him. I've been such a fool, she was with him. That time, she went to the shop for bread and came back a week later with milk. She was with him. And those grunting noises in the bed beside me, she was with him. When she was with him, she was with him. I've been such a fool. And then what you do is you go and you live in your bed for 6 months. You smoke, you drink whiskey, and you listen to the radio. And you listen to all them love songs that up to that point you thought were complete and utter shit. But now they make absolute sense. Because you're tuned in to the lonely frequency. Hello, welcome to You'll Never Have a Life Again FM. Nobody can ever possibly love you again. You're a love wreck. FM. And you're singing along, blubbering away to all them songs you used to hate, going, it's so true. It's so true. I think I'm gonna be sad. I think it's the day the girl that's driving me mad is going away. If you leave me now, take away the biggest part of me. Everybody was kung fu fighting. It's all so true. And then your mates come round, and their job as mates is to bring you out in the town to take your mind of what's going on. But you seem to hear her name wherever you go. Don't go out with the girl called Taxi.
Being single is a bit of a problem. What's worse is that everyone else is getting married. I noticed this. And people who never were going to get married suddenly getting married. People who weren't even going out with anyone the last time I saw them getting married. Friends who live abroad and have great careers. You meet them in the summer and go, how's it going? Oh, wonderful. Love life? No, none of that. They come back at Christmas. I'm engaged. And they're engaged. People are getting married to anyone at all. They don't care. Because, like, suddenly, you know, like, when you were a kid, you thought, when I'm a grown-up in my 20s, I'll do whatever I want to do. And what you want to do in your 20s is go out, drink a lot, and go to parties. You do that for 10 years, you wake up one morning, you go, oh, God, it's 29:40. I haven't achieved anything with my life. You panic, and you go, I could have another pint, or I could get married. And most people go for marriage, because what the hell, you know, there's a free bar, you know, at the reception anyhow, you know, so it's... kills two birds with one stone. But when you were younger, so you were very specific about the sort of person you want to get married. You know, you had your ideal person. Women especially, you'd say to women, what's your ideal person like? And they go, oh, well, he'd have to be tall and attractive. I mean, attractive to me, not necessarily classically good-looking or anything, but I mean, he wouldn't be a bimbo or anything. He'd be intelligent, he'd have a degree of some sort and a steady job. But he'd also fly off to safari at a moment's notice, you know, just like that. And he'd be musically gifted somehow. He might play an instrument and he'd be able to make me laugh. And he'd like being with me, but he wouldn't crowd me out either. He'd give me my own space, but he wouldn't feel trapped by being in space. And of course, very, very specific. You get to 29, you've just got one question. Are you a mammal? Got a heart and lungs, I'll pretty much go for it, you know?
A lot of comics talk about their pants, and that's because they've no original ideas. But do you know when they come on, they do, oh, girls are different, aren't they? That's true. And like I sometimes envy the feminine mind because sometimes it's very poetic, I think. I asked my girlfriend recently, have you ever eaten pheasant? And she said, not really. Isn't that fantastic? To be able to think like that. I mean, what does that mean? Did somebody slip it in your drink? Did you wake up one morning in a pheasant hutch with one in your mouth? What happened? And women have this wonderful thing of being able to pick up on things. You know, they're very sensitive. Like, you know, they see things men don't see. You know, dirt, relatives, bargains, all that stuff. And they... and, like, when you're having a... You know, when they say things like, oh, I knew she was depressed. Why? She didn't finish her tea. What? Men need more, you know? Oh, I knew he was a bit off. His head was on fire. And of course, men get very, very vain, you know, and that's not talked about a lot because it's supposed to be more the girls' thing. But they do, you know. Sometimes you see yourself after a bath or a shower or something, and you look at yourself and you think, oh my God, look, I used to be man-shaped. Now I'm just a random bag of tits. Hello. And you go in to the person you're with, you know, in my case it's a woman, and you go in and say, what are you doing with me? You're a beautiful person. You've got all this fabulous, you know, feminine stuff here, furniture and everything. What are you doing with somebody like me? What is this, a fucking experiment? What's going on? And women try and soothe all the time, so just say, oh, you know, be quiet. You're wonderful. You're great and everything. Don't worry about it. Take off your t-shirt and come to bed. No, there's stuff in here you can't see. Shh, come, you know. So I love you for what you are. For what I am. I'm a duvet that smokes and drinks beer. That's what I am. Shh, take off your t-shirt and come to bed. Come on. You're a wonderful lover. Yeah, but am I the best? Because men are pathetic, and that's what they want to know. And women don't have that competitive thing, so they go, there is no best. Ah ha ha! Who was he? I know, it's one of those blue-eyed guys with loads of teeth and hair and skin and all that modern shit. And he always looked as if he was on a boat and he gave up his job in cybergenics to go and plant trees in some fucking place. And he had long lashes and could quote huge chunks of Baudelaire as he stirred his cafe latte. And he wrote a whole load of books and never told you. And then you were doubly impressed because one day you found them in an airport. And he played lead cello in the Bulgarian orchestra and didn't tell you until you'd spend an hour twanging around on your ratty fucking guitar looking for the first two chords of do ron ron. And he was mysterious and everything. He couldn't call because he was smuggling Crocrobian children across the border to get them to safety using his fucking knowledge of missile tactics and his inheritance and everything. And then he got involved in some underground documentary film group and was killed in a really tragic way for sedition. One of those guys, huh? Well, you just hand me that fucking shoehorn over there, I'll take this t-shirt off and show you who's the best around here. I may have spent too long in the toilet, but I've almost got some feeling back in one of my legs.
I'd just like to say thanks a million for having us. I tell you, we've had mighty crack, haven't we, Nualas?
We have indeed.
It's been absolutely wonderful.
All cracks apart, it's been fantastic.
It has indeed. Now, I hope you enjoyed us. We certainly enjoyed you. And we especially, aren't they fantastic? All the absolutely gorgeous men on stage tonight.
And fair play to them. Why shouldn't men do comedy?
Absolutely.
Well said, Some of you folks down there may find that you fancy some of the gorgeous men up here strutting their stuff this evening. And if you do, we've got a word of warning for you. Don't we, Nuala?
Sure. Tommy McHee, o Dairian Yalchreir, is a curtain of Shays Gonski, it's no father Gagare. The one on the Oi, some Michele Read. Agus Nobby and Kint, Agus Nobby be Baskin. Agus na tit in ra, le fair comedy.
Loosely translated, don't fall in love with a comedy man.
I met a man and he told me a joke. It wasn't very good, but I laughed anyway. He took me away in his electrical car to a bar with a 2-foot stage. He stepped into the light, he talked into a mic. Everyone laughed till their heads fell off. The gags were fast, the timing was right.
Was right?
Feck it. I fell in love, I fell in love, I fell in love with the comedy man. Comedy, great big comedy man. His gas, comedy, great big confident comedy man. Ha ha, ha ha. He suggested a drink, I bought him a gin. We talked for hours, we talked about him. He told me how hard it is to write gags, and as he told me, he smoked all my bags. Oh no, oh no. In no time at all, I was back in his flat. We were under the duvet, just like that. I said, it's time to take off your kit. But after an hour, I said, get off your shit. We laughed about it over some smokes. We agreed his talent lay more in his jokes. As I left in the morning, he was eating his cereal. He said, at least I can use this as new material. Now I'm dating a computer man called Rex. Seriously boring, but very good sex. Comma, not so comedy. He's not a comedy man. He's responsible. Comma, great big competent computer man. Great big megabyte man.
Will you please show your appreciation once again for Pom Boyd, Ed Byrne, Michele Read, Kevin McAleer, Eddie Bannon, Kevin Gildea, the Nualas, Brendan O'Carroll, Dara O'Briain, Owen O'Neill, Brendan Dempsey, Pauline McLynn, Jason Byrne, Dylan Moran, and Dermot Morgan.